Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, for today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you another way to earn is offline. So here is something to note about the craziness of running something like the Drake around, right? The Drake is one of these crazy ships with a very heavy shield. It's a really heavy tanky ship for just basic combat. It also puts out a nice amount of damage. I'm not saying it puts out the best amount of damage. It puts out a nice amount of damage. There are better ships right now, considering that you have battleships, and with your armadas moving around, if most people play the Web of Fire or anything to stop ships, if you use warp scramblers and things like that, then you just catch people out of their micro warp drives, you're definitely going to have the higher end power when it comes to taking down these types of vessels. And sorry, not these types of vessels, the higher end vessels. They will make you far more ISK anytime that you would prefer to use them, and they are far less likely to get blown up in something as simple as combat with low levels. Now, one of the things I did here is I turned on auto attack. In the past, when you put on auto attack, the moment you lock onto an enemy, you instantly attack them. And I didn't know that that feature was disabled. So right now I try to turn it on and I try to use it in that configuration, because if you can auto attack, that means that nothing is going to stand against you when it comes to your actual combat time. It makes a big difference for your overall gameplay. Now, as you can see, I looked at this and I'm actually working on this by time. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see how much of time you need to spend between each wave. If you are going to, you're just going to hit one or two, throw the phone on the side and leave it to run. See how long it takes for this whole cycle to come down when it comes to competition in terms of these vessels. Now, obviously, when you do this here free form, depending on the amount of power your ship has, it makes a big difference. Right? If you have C-type weapons instead of like me with Undertaker-type missile system on the ship, you're definitely going to be putting out way more power. If you have higher level Web of Fires, you're going to be disrupting them a lot more. I'm double checking here to see why it didn't engage. I turned it off, turned it on. No prompts were given to me, no warnings. That means that something was disabled. It's one of those things, you have to live with it. If it happens, it happens. There's nothing that you can do to change what has happened. Now, obviously, from what I'm saying that basically I'm fine with this here, and yes, I am fine to a certain extent. When you are playing this here, you can actually play the game freehand. Now, what I mean by freehand is you can leave your regen on your shield non-stop throughout the entire process. As you can see, there is no input coming in for the way this battle is flowing. I just targeted everything and I left them to fight. So that is what we have for the start. It's just the easy flow, easy combat style for the ship. Now I'm leaving it. You can see there's it. It's ticking off with small damage. Tick, tick, and bam, it goes away. Now, obviously, there are other things to worry about in this whole thing. If you are also refining the maths from your discarded gear, that means that your reward goes up way more. This here is worth far more than what I am describing it to be if the maths are added to the whole situation. I'm not even going to deny that it's going to be crazy. Might be in effect let's see. Sorry. As you can see, the power is draining severely on this here. Once the capacitor dies, the shield regen will turn off instantly. There's nothing I can do about it. It's something that happens. Once it happens, there's nothing I can stop it. As you know, this has been pre-recorded and I am voicing over everything that happens, so I do know how it goes. And I can tell you that for a fact, I've been testing these small things from the moment I jumped on, because I knew that they would have quite a big bearing further down the line when it came to gameplay. And as such, I just left it to go. Right now, one of the things that makes this kind of impactful is the fact that I knew that I can just pull these items off the list from the loot list, because that doesn't impact the way this is moving. Obviously, I'm there with the game throughout this entire fight, and I figured that if I said it was pre-recorded and it was just me sitting AFK pulling things into my ship, people will get upset, because people have that habit of complaining about those types of things when it comes to content. I've had it before, and I don't need to go through trying to explain why I'm doing things. So I decided to stay a little bit active. You can see I'm keeping an eye on the loot as it pops into the side. You'll see now that I am totally active when I lock onto enemies in a few seconds. I'm just waiting to see if the weapons engage themselves like they're supposed to. Okay, so here we go. I am going to loot while this is active. As you can see, I allowed it to start. Wasn't working out right. It still had an auto fired. I had to engage the firing mechanism. So here I go. I engage it all, and now I'm leaving it be. I just engaged the capacitor and the shield wall for a few seconds. Now I'm just seeing if this ship can last against the entire armada on its own. If it can defeat them solo without me directly inputting into it throughout the entire fight, then this means that I can leave it to fight in a couple of minutes. Obviously, that's the whole thing that you want done. You want this here to be easy as 1, 2, 3. And that's the beauty of it. If you can get everything up there and ready to go, everything sitting for you at the right spots, whatever needs to be done will be done. Pretty simple. Right, watching this here, there's it. Quick hits. Come on, 2 or 3 hits here. Now, as you can see, I'm not inputting because I have a certain order to go through. I would have taken out the Moa Guardian because the Moa Guardian is a big pain. You'll see that I do collect all of my loot. The reason is I did say that there's that big cash up coming in at the end of the week. I realized for it to be at the end of the week and for me to actually gain all of it for a week will mean it will take something like 3 weeks to show up for a video. Unfortunately, that would be really inappropriate of me, so I'm going to cut it short and I will explain how many hours worth of looting it actually took to get to the figure that comes out. It might not be a lot, it might be a very tiny figure overall, but that's the whole idea behind it. You want to pull things up, you want to show what you have, and that is one of the things that really makes this a big deal. So here we go. Come on. I'm missing picking up those loot crates, but don't you worry, I am there. I was there the whole time. I was watching over it. I may have become a little bit engrossed in seeing how the fight played out over actually jumping in and turning the tables. And by the way, I'm actually playing in a similar method right now. And it's kind of ironic to see that I still use the same mistakes over and over again when it comes to playing the game. There we go. Quick, easy dismissals coming up. You can see I was there. Right? I am not turning its targeting on any one of the enemies. I am not giving it the flow. It is doing this here all on its own. This is the automated system doing its own thing. I will not interfere with the way that the fight is moving for 2 reasons, because if I don't interfere, that means I can show you how quickly you can earn ISK. If you can earn ISK in 15 minutes with a fight, That means all you've got to do is pull out a mission set, because you get 6 hours to complete them, hold them all on the side, get into the system, engage it. You can go back to work while your ship is firing away. Obviously, as I said, you have to engage it. So you have to activate your shield defense, your armor defense, your armor repair, and you just have to let it go. Let it blast away and sink everything around you. You'll see in a little bit that I'm actually through all of this. There you go. A little bit more loot. And here we go. So this one here was a very quick wave, right? Overall, the destruction of it didn't take too long. Things played out pretty well for me. I won't deny that part. Okay, so in the last wave, I did that full reactivation. I gave it that whole power boost from the batteries to start it off. You have to return each time a wave starts. So at around the 11th minute, the second wave starts. That's free-form. Remember, you don't know whether it's going to take a minute or two extra. If the MOA is there for a little bit longer than it should be, that will have quite the negative impact on you. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's just one of those things. And here we go. So this is the last wave, right? It's some of the best fighting that you get when it comes to any of these. It's going to take the longest period for the last part of the fight. If you knock out the right ships at the right time, you will have a massive decrease in the amount of power you need. Something like the way that the shield decreases won't be a problem. As you can see, I haven't activated the cap booster or the shield booster on this. That makes a massive difference to your actual fight, because you don't get that boost in power for a few seconds. It makes a huge difference, just by the way. I'm playing with it right now where I have a lot of influence on it, where I'm actually interfering with it every few seconds. And just because I activate those two, I have 100% shield boost burst the way that it is right now. You can go through any of my videos, see how it goes. I don't really fall this slow when it comes to my regular play. This is a rare occurrence because of the way that it is formed. Now, obviously, this is also very lucky because the ships didn't try to run out too far. If they had run further out, it would have made things a little bit more difficult for me. It would have impacted the overall gameplay in terms of how I was fighting. So yeah, that's something else to note of. And here we go. Reaching that last few minutes, as you can see, the power is really dropping fast and my shield is crashing like crazy. I also wait to fully recharge before I reach the next mission, because there's 2 missions in a system. The reason for that is if that happened to be the unfortunate configuration you had, you're not going to jump to another system to skip the whole recharge time. If you're jumping 2 systems out, you might as well just sit there, jump to a station, jump out of the station, and continue with the fight. It'll take you far less time than jumping 2 systems out, completing another one, jumping 2 systems down, killing this one, and keeping up with that whole crazy, ridiculous routine. Okay, so here we go. And if you're looking at the top, this is from my last video. The figure that it started with was the 58022, right? That is how it started. At the end of this year, I'm getting 900,000 from the mission, which is going to get a tax value hit on it. And on top of that, I'm also going to get the bounty in a few minutes after it's done, which is also going to increase my value of where I'm standing. So there's 2 value increases coming in for me, and there goes my shield booster in a few seconds. I'm obviously only fighting 2 ships at this point, and it does make a massive difference. There it goes. Right, shield booster is off, and there you go, 47% shield. As I said, it does make a big difference if you know what you are fighting against. These can be the difference between winning or losing for you for most players, and that is just the reality behind it. It takes more than a few minutes to completely recharge your shields. As you can see, there's I'm at 15. This here still has 5 more minutes to go after these 2 are down. These are simple to kill ships. They don't have that much of health. This one here has about 16k at the max, and this one here only has about 6k at the max. So 2 shots on this and it's down, 3 or 4 shots for that one and it was down. I can fire every 10 seconds, so I don't have anything to stress about. And here we go, picking up all the loot. Obviously, loot was something that I messed up on. So see me drop that. Activate recharge. Now, obviously, with just a single system, things are a lot easier. I don't have to boost it up because I need the capacitor to also recharge. I'm in the exact same system, so there is that whole thing to add to the whole craziness of the situation. So yeah, here we go. This is just the little finishing touches. Okay. Now I'm just gonna outline 1 or 2 things. If you're looking at this here, I am losing power to this here. I have 9 seconds till this activates, and as you can see, there's 4 minutes to go. I am not skipping any of this because this is all important to your actual play. You're gonna notice that I'm in high sec. In the next video, I plan to fight for at least 10 minutes in low sec before I was killed. Unfortunately, I didn't even get 25 seconds of low sec fight time, which is kind of a bummer, but it just goes to show the state of the game, and I'm going to explain a bit about that and why I may be playing the game and how I recommend it and what I recommend for you if you are going to rejoin the game. These are kind of the heavy things to discuss, and I hope that you are all ready because the next video will be jumping into that section of the craziness for this year. It's going to make a big impact. Now, you might have wondered why did I increase it with the shield extender. The shield extender actually does a lot more than just improve your power for a few seconds. The shield extender also allows you to have a higher recharge rate while it is active. Because you don't lose to any damage, and obviously in this situation I just did it because there was nothing else I could do. The cap battery wasn't being drained out completely, there was still so much more to it, and there I go, I just picked up everything. I can disable that. Now I have to wait for the capacitor to fully recharge. As you can see, I have 2 minutes to go. I put away the ship. Everything here is now totally dead. The ship is going to completely stop dead in space. There's no movement. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to activate the cap booster again because it gives you a massive boost to your recharge rate. I might have missed it declining on the original cooldown. That's a little bit of my fault. A few seconds off that timer. As I said, this is for an offline play style. So let's go with that. I'm looking at where the next one is. As you can see, this is the reason. 0 jumps means it's in the exact same system. I'm going to need full cap if I'm going to go for it with this whole system. Here is the mission that I intended to go for in the next one, right? I'm taking it, and I basically was going to say, if I was recording this here live, well, here's what we're going to have for the next video. I know these will kick my butt really hard, and I don't intend to go running into Amarr territory. where I don't know who the enemies are going to be. I suspected that the low-sec pirates are going to be a little bit more aggressive than your normal pirates, so let's see what we're going to get. So the recharge is going up. I'm above the 50% mark. I could have taken on a fight if I was active in the game while doing it. There isn't a problem with it at that point. So yeah, let's keep going. There's that whole section to go. Obviously it's the last 56 seconds, but I'm just going to stop it here, and I'm actually going to have a quick discussion about something. So yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1, stop. There's 44 more seconds till I'm above 90%. You can't be above 90% when you're inside the sector. The moment you engage your warp, you lose 10%. Okay, so yeah, there we go. This is the actual start to this whole craziness. This was something else that I showed, and I wanted to show you that there were faster ways to get money. Obviously, if I was lucky and I managed to get into a low-sec sector where there wasn't a pirate hiding on the gate or a pirate sitting inside the system, things would have turned out different. I would have showed you the quick gains that you can get. As you can see, I was up to 60 mil. I dropped all the way down to 0, just by the way. Okay, not 0, but you'll see what happened in the next one. So I hope that you all did enjoy. This is just another quick money making tip for you. You can run your ships in this configuration at any time, and they will get you quite a bit of ISK. As I said, these freelance missions at 2 million bounty are such a big hit to you for gaining. I think I already got my 2 mil bounty on this one here in this time. As you can see, I was already at 6778. And that isn't everything because I picked up all the loot, so there's still money involved in it. And I'm going to have to go through putting those things up on the market, selling certain items, and seeing what the profit that I get of them is. So yeah, we'll be doing that in the next video. Hope that you all are ready for quite the experience when it comes to the next one. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Alright, so see you all then. Have a good day.